I think we're going to go with 8, if I think you're correct there. 8 plays. It started.
Just an all-around great play with a great drive.
I believe this is going to be Burris to tee it up just inside the near hash mark. Let's see who's standing deep here for Van Wert. That is going to be Cowan and number 11, Kelly. And they have been told to kick away from Kelly as much as possible. As a matter of fact, you saw Burris with a squib kick to open up the ball game. And we'll see what he does here, but my guess is he's going to keep it just outside the near hash mark. He is. That's a low line drive. It will bounce. It will go into the end zone, but you know what? That's not a returnable ball. That's doing your job.
It is. That was an excellent kick. Way to keep it low and keep it away from the backs.
But you're not going to get style points here this evening. The points that do matter are on the board right now at Fred Brown Stadium as the Bulldogs lead it 7-0. Van Wert will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20 for their second offensive series of the night. Anything stand out at you in particular on that first Defiance series?
I mean, just the passion. They want to win in the trenches, and they came to play, and there was a lot of push by the offensive line and the running back after he got hit. Yep. He carried guys with him.
Crummy, hands off. Ooh! Kelly got almost doubled over. He almost broke in 2 as he crossed the 20. That will most likely be the most difficult, most physical 2 yards he's going to gain all night. Wow. They're going to give him 3. So, nope, now they give him 2. 2nd down and 8. Rolling out far side. The pass is complete, and I believe that was Kelly coming out of the flat. We'll wait and see where the line judge spots him out of bounds. He's going to be shy of the 30 at about the 29, so that will be a gain of 8. They needed 9. It's 3rd and 1. Third and 1, we've got another flag. Somebody line up in the neutral zone. Oh, that's a killer. If Coach Ritt had hair, they'd be turning gray right now. Look, it's one thing to make an aggressive penalty, but that's a pre-snap penalty. And I'll guarantee you post-game he'll say we got to do a better job knowing where we're at lining up. Neutral zone infraction, 5 yards. That's a service master restore penalty. Let you know about one of our new great sponsors this season. This is going to be a designed quarterback keeper. A little bit of a high snap and just in between the tackles trying to get north-south yards. And was that Kelly actually lining up in a wildcat? I believe it was. And he'll pick up 4. They're kind of rolling a few tricks out of their playbook right now, but back at quarterback out of the pistol, Crummy. They send Kelly in motion. He's going to hang in the flat. Firing off his back foot, deflected. Boy, that was just a tremendous athletic play by Chase Camaso.
Yeah, he was able to read that well, step in front of the receiver and get his hands out there and make a play. There was also a couple of other Defiance jerseys around that play as he rolled out to the left.
Brings up 3rd and 7. Twins to the near, twins to the far side. Crummy barking out the signals. Plenty of time on the snap clock as everybody looks to the sideline. Coach Recker gets the play in. 2-step drop, pressure coming off the edge. Stepping up in the pocket, there's contact, and how did he thread the needle across midfield? That ball hauled in by Keaton Welch on the other side of midfield. 13, where are you going to spot it, sir? Almost 18 yards on that reception, and that ball couldn't have been put anywhere else.
No, there were 4 Defiance defenders around him. And way to keep your eyes downfield as the pressure was on.
Moves the chains, 1st and 10 from the 45. On the zone read. Crummy's going to take it straight up the gut in between the hash marks and powers his way inside the 40 to, we'll call it the 38, but that's a healthy gain of about 7 on 1st down. When he comes downhill at you at 6'6", 243 pounds, that's a lineman by most high school standards.
That is a very big boy. And he runs hard.
Yes, very nimble. He'll roll out here, getting some pressure on the backside. He doesn't feel it, and the ball is loose, and somehow Kelly picks it out of the air. Look out as he crosses the 35 down to the 33, and look at that. On a busted play, they pick up the first down.
I think that play worked out better than what he was going to try and do, because the guy was covered downfield. It looked like he was going to throw it downfield, and Jordan Wright was there in defense, and that play worked out.
They couldn't do that any better if they ran that 100 more times. Wow. And if you're Defiance, sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the opponent, don't you? There's nothing else you could have done any better. The ball just bounced Van Wert's way.
My dad always says it's better to be lucky than good.
1st and 10 from the 32. It keeps the drive alive. They fake it. This is going to be a wildcat. Kelly hit once, hit twice, and wrapped up as he falls forward inside the 30-yard line. Anton Hagler coming up and doing a good job. You saw what he did there, though, Andy. He hit him high and realized he didn't have the leverage. So instead of allowing him to break his tackle, he just slid down and took his legs out from underneath him.
That's the second time Kelly has lined up in the Wildcat, so I'm assuming we're going to expect a lot more of that tonight.
Well, right now it's been effective. 2nd down, and we'll call it a short 7. Empty backfield with trips to the near side. They're going to run the shovel pass, and this time it is snipped out. I believe that's Hinojosa gumming things up in the middle. Yep, big number 55 coming off the bottom of that pile. And here we go again. It's going to be 3rd and long. Van Wert's had an answer on 2 separate 3rd and longs on this drive. We'll see what they can do here as we approach 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Straight drop, fires to the far flat, and I'm not sure. It looked like miscommunication between quarterback and receiver as Welch broke in and the ball went out. And I'm not sure if the wrong stem got run or if that was just an adjustment by the wide receiver, hoping the quarterback would notice, but it is incomplete, 4th down.
Yeah, it definitely looked like the wrong route to me. Again, impressed at a 3-man rush, how they're getting pressure on this quarterback, because these offensive linemen, they're
huge,
massive, and those 3 guys are getting in there.
4th down, Van Wert will go for it from the Defiance 27. Low snap. Crummy fires to the end zone. It's a lob pass, deflected and knocked away at the last second. Again, well played by T.J. Burris. He got a little bit of help. That ball didn't come out of Crummy's hand probably as cleanly as he would like. It looked like a little bit of a wounded duck, and that allowed Burris time to recover, and the Defiance defense holds.
And Burris was in excellent position right there, and what a way to use your head, to know to knock the ball down instead of trying to intercept it there. If he intercepts it there, he probably doesn't give them as good a field position as if he just knocks it down.
18 ticks left to go, and I don't believe in the broadcaster's jinx, just so you know, a very quick moving first quarter. Colt Ward barking out the signals as he again has his 2-headed monster at running back flanking both sides. This is going to be a bit of an ISO, and Gibbs is upended in the backfield and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. And I don't believe Defiance is going to be in any rush to get one more snap in before the quarter ends. 7-0. Bulldogs with their 2nd offensive series after their defense comes up big and holds Van Wert just outside the red zone. Red zone, it's 7-0. We'll take a quick timeout. We're back with quarter number 2. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Sherwood State Bank, your community bank with locations in Sherwood, Defiance, Fayette, and Archbold. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank since 1945. Online at sherwood.bank.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center, personalized service, and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center, Stadium Drive in Defiance, and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Back at Fred Brown Stadium at Defiance, opening play of the second quarter, and Kelton Gibbs with a nice sweep around the left end. Ball was at the 27-yard line. He picks up about 10. Looks like maybe they're going to give him 11 out to the 38. Ground and pound. That is what Defiance did to score the only touchdown on their first offensive series back in the first quarter. We had it unofficially as an 8-play drive that started at their own 35-yard line. Their defense held just outside the red zone as Van Wert went for it on 4th and 5 at the Bulldog 27. Now the offense back on the field, and no secret what they want to do. This is where you're playing checkers instead of chess. No need to overcomplicate it, Andy. Defiance is saying, here's our best. Van Wert, try and stop it.
Yeah, and Kelton right there, we've seen a lot of power from him. He was able to get to the outside and use his speed and shiftiness a little bit and gain 11 yards.
We'll have a stat tracker for you from Arthur Law Firm after this snap of the football. On 1st and 10, Gibbs again left side. Bounces off a man, falls forward out to the 45. That should be a gain of about 6. Unofficially, I have Kelton Gibbs for 7 carries for 42 yards. That's not a bad average. But his partner in crime, Chase Camaso, 6 carries for 35 yards. If it's not one, it's the other. So here's the question. If you're Van Wert, who do you key on?
That's a challenge. And both runners run their own style.
Yes.
You see a little more power from Kelton Gibbs, and you see a little more finesse from Camaso.
Right now they are complementing each other like peanut butter and jelly. As the handoff, this is just a slam up the middle and off to the races. Gibbs breaks 2, 3, carries another couple defenders with him inside the 35, down to the 31-yard line.
And another really nice hole to run through. He's got great vision, we can clearly see that, but the offensive line is doing their job against a really big defensive line.
24 yards unofficially on that carry. That's going to make the average even better. And here we go, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line.
What a game plan by Defiance. They came out and they knew who they were and they knew what they wanted to do, and they have just stuck with it, and they've really stuck it to the Cougars.
Nothing fancy about this whatsoever, but there's no need to reinvent the wheel, right? Keep going. Full house backfield. This is going to be a counter as we've got a new ball carrier in for Defiance, as that is going to be number 45. That is Abel Paxton. Paxton with his first carry of the night. And he picks up 5. Ball resting just outside of the Stambaugh Jewelers red zone.
You can see Van Wert really starting to load the box, so you're wondering if they're going to take a shot at some point. I know Colt Ward doesn't have a lot of passes, but this might be an opportunity as they are just pulling more and more forward.
2nd and 5 from the 26. A little bit of a counter. Paxton hit once, busts out of a tackle, almost got to the edge. Just couldn't break free, and that was, I don't want to call it a touchdown saving tackle, but number 58, as I look down here for a new reserve defensive lineman, Ashton Rager, it doesn't look like it, but if he doesn't lay pads on him, there's nobody on the other side of that. He turns the edge and he's still running.
And of course that was part of the keys to the game for Van Wert. He was able to make that tackle. It didn't look pretty, it wasn't powerful, but he brought the guy down.
3rd and 1 from the 22. Gibbs is going to send a man in motion. Check that. Ward does. As Camaso off the right side. A little bit of blue in front of him, and he's down to the 20. He only needed 1. He got 2. Moves the chains, and now officially the Bulldogs are in the Stambaugh Jewelers red zone. Stambaugh Jewelers, your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stambaugh Jewelers has what you're looking for every occasion since 1948. 1st and 10 from the 20. Under 8.5 left to go first half. Hand off, and not much that time. I don't want to say they sold out, but Wertz was coming downhill And at 5'10", 203 pounds, he had a little bit of momentum behind him. And I'm not sure they're going to give him a gain. They are not. 2nd and 10.
Looked like the Van Wert linebacker hit the hole before Kelton did right there.
Sometimes you got to take a risk, don't you? Not to be sloppy.
Doesn't feel at this point like it's much of a risk. I think
No.
we all know what Defiance is planning on doing.
Look at this. Van Wert's pinching a couple of linebackers up on the edge. This is going to be a handoff, and Paxton trying to turn the right side as he powers his way down to the 16. That'll be a gain of 4.
Kind of looks like Van Wert has pulled in their goal line defense.
A little bit.
Up on the 20-yard line.
Third and 6 from the 16. Normally I'd think maybe medium risk, high reward. Maybe you run a tight end or a back into the flat, but right now Defiance is simply confident that they can get 5 or 6 yards on a run. Instead, a pass. Ward looking, he's going to fire into the corner. He's got right there. He's a little high. I thought they might just go to move the chains. Instead, little riverboat gambler and Coach Rittenauer, he went for the whole thing, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, it felt like Ward had a couple of guys open in the flat that he might have been able to hit and get that 1st down, keep the ball rolling. Looks like their offense is staying on the field, and they're going to go for it here in 4th down.
4th and 6 from the 16. Certainly you would think a passing situation here. Or are they going to? Yep. Camaso, the lone back. Too tight. Now they're going to put a man in motion. Twins near and far side. Ward looking left. Has plenty of time. Fires underneath. Complete inside the 10 to the 9-yard line is big tight end Matthew Walter. Wow. They have a term for that. It's called threading the needle into double coverage, and I do see a flag. Yep.
There's a flag on the play.
We're going to have holding. Let's wait and see. Well, that will negate the fine completion in the 1st down and back them up 5. How about the offensive line? Just the 2nd time tonight they've had to pass block. But Colt Ward had a ton of time.
He had plenty of time. And what a great pass by Colt. I
Yes.
mean, that was a hard play right there. There were 2 or 3 Cougars right in the way, and he was able to thread that needle. What a great catch, too.
Yes.
Matthew Walter used his hands there. Great play. Unfortunately, doesn't count.
All coming back. I can tell you as a former possession receiver, anytime you have to raise your arms over your head, it does run through the back of your mind. Even though you're concentrating on the ball, it runs through the back of your mind because you are exposed. As we have a timeout, Defiance, 4th and 16 from the 26. Let's take a quick timeout, see what they have in store when we come back. Bulldogs leading 7-0 on DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Timeout on the field with 6:20 left to go in a very quick-moving 1st half. Defiance 7, Van Wert nothing. 6:20 left to go in the 2nd quarter. But Defiance, after what they thought was a completion and making it 1st and goal inside the 10, a holding penalty backs them up to make it 4th and 16. Now the ball out on the 26-yard line. This is one of those gray areas. I know they've got a great soccer program here at Defiance. A little too far, especially into the wind for a field goal, but you don't need it all here. Again, Andy, this is the play. What do you got for 17 yards?
This is a tough call.
I want lottery numbers if you call this one right. Ward out of the pistol. 2-step drop. Pocket stays clean. He's going to sling it. He's going to the end zone. We got a collision between the referee and the receiver, and it's intercepted in the back of the end zone. Down the near sideline, out past the 30-yard line. Trying to get a number. There's some jawboning going on, as that is, I believe, number 31. Or is that 13? Nope, it is 31. Coming down with the football, and that's Briggs Wallace. But again, there was a collision in the end zone between the Defiance receiver and the back judge. Oh, what could have been.
You don't expect the official to be one of the better defenders on the field. However, to be fair, Van Wert was in great position right there to be able to make a play. The collision might not have mattered.
We will never know, but now 1st and 10 after the interception. The Cougars with a huge defensive play. They'll start at their own 31 with just over 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Kelly hit in the backfield, and he's going to be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
We have to be surprised by the penetration that the defensive line of Defiance is able to get.
I believe that was Davis on the stop for Defiance. I think it's 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1. Dropping back, and that ball deflected. Nice job by Gibbs. We talked about him playing kind of that hybrid position, part linebacker, part nickelback, but he was coming hard there, and he's just covered a ton of ground tonight.
Yeah, he's been aggressive, very, very aggressive. And he looks quick today. He looks like he's come out with some passion, and he's moving fast.
Whatever he had for breakfast, my guess is Coach Rittenauer will say have it next Friday as well. 3rd and 11, just like that with the clock stopped. And if Defiance can get a stop here, they will get the ball back one more time before the end of the half. Crummy, straight drop. He's got time. Now he's flushed out. Fires across the middle. Oh, what a tremendous catch by Welch. Down the near sideline. It's going to be a foot race. He's got one man to beat. Cuts back against the grain. Is anybody going to catch him? They will not. 70 yards and a cloud of dust, and the Cougars an extra point away from tying this game up. Wow.
Might have been a costly play as Kelly is down on the field and he's limping off. Excellent running back. Looks like he's okay. What a big play by the Cougars. The thing that Defiance had to make sure they couldn't give up are those big plays.
Well, and he hauled that in, around midfield? I mean, it was going to be a first down, but then Welch turned on the Jets and made a tremendous move at about the 20 to cut back against the grain. That was just about a 50-yard sprint, and the Cougars a point away from tying this thing up.
Really interesting, too. There were 2 Cougars right there in the same position, and the Defiance safety tackled the wrong guy as the pass was received by the other Cougar, and he took it for a touchdown.
Grant McCracken puts it through the uprights, and just like that, one big play, and we are knotted up at 7-all with 5:17 left to go. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with the rest of the first half. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Back at Fred Brown Stadium, all tied up at 7-7 after the 70-yard touchdown. That was just a 3-play drive. But, of course, when you get 70 off of one snap of the football, Welch made about a 50-yard sprint after hauling it in. That's a West Banco touchdown. Every day since 1870, building a better bank. Community focused. Find out more at westbanco.com. This is where stats don't always tell the story. And you can take a look at them, sometimes massage them, make them look any way you want. Defiance was in command for what, 85% of this half so far, and then Van Wert showed what they can do with just one snap of the football.
Yeah, and this is exactly the football that Defiance wanted to play until that last play. They've done a really good job up front on both sides of the ball.
The kick is very high. It is very short, and it will be hauled in down the far sideline, and I believe that's number 2. Is that Larry Wade? Brings it out past the 25. Where are you going to spot it here, men in stripes? Hey, we got a light. I can finally see my scorebook. Okay, they're going to put this at the 24-yard line. So we'll see what Defiance can do here with the game knotted up and 5:13 left to go. big play capability, but it's come on the ground for Defiance. They've only gone to the air twice tonight. One was an incompletion, one was called back. I guess we could take that off the books. And then one, an interception after the receiver collided with the back judge in the end zone. As the handoff goes to Gibbs, nothing doing in between the tackles, tries to turn it to the near corner. Nice job of improvising as he's out to the 32. That's going to be a gain of 8.
And way to not panic for Defiance. They
Absolutely.
have 5 minutes left in the half. That's a big score, but it's essentially back to even. And so they just need to stick to their game plan. It has been working, and that's what they've done there, and they gained 8 yards.
I look at it this way. While you didn't want to give it up, and certainly there's some momentum in Van Wert's sails, this is sauce for the goose. You can run out the last 5 minutes doing just what you've done up until this point in time in the ball game, and if you get some points out of it, boom, you've got the momentum going back into your locker room.
And they get the ball in the second half.
Uh-oh,
no.
fumble.
Oh, no.
Gibbs loses the ball. This is picked up by Welch. It's a dead sprint down the far side, cuts it back, and just like that, a 32-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown by Keaton Welch, and a big offensive play followed up by a big defensive play, and blink your eyes, the Cougars are on top. Wow.
Like you said before, the stats don't always tell the game. Defiance has played a heck of a ball game so far, but the Cougars are on top. They need to get back to just pounding that ball, and of course they got to protect the ball.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Not a key to the game, but one thing worse than a negative play is a touchdown the other way.
The kick by McCracken is up. It is good, and Van Wert eating all their vegetables at dinner and saying their prayers before they go to bed. A 70-yard touchdown reception by the same man who just returned a 32-yard fumble recovery. Keaton Welch is the man of the moment right now for the Cougars as they enjoy a 14-7 lead at the 4:23 mark. All right, so here's my question for you. You're on the sidelines. You're Coach Ritt and your rest of the Defiance coaching staff. Like we talked about, you have dominated for probably the first 80% of this half. You still have 4:23 left to go. What's your message to your team right now?
Let's keep going. Let's do exactly what we do. Let's get us a touchdown so that we can go into the second half with the ball, 14-14. I would tell my team, don't do anything different. Let's keep it going.
All right, now they will await the McCracken kickoff. Standing deep will be Wright. And do I see number 21, Will Horvath? Both standing at their own 5. This game has turned on a dime, ladies and gentlemen. 2 big plays, one offensively, one defensively, both by the same man. High kick, Wright waits for it. Fields it inside his 5, trying to get behind his wedge.
Oh, he's got space.
Oh, look out. He's got some
space.
jets. He's turning them on. Down the near sideline, lowers the shoulder as well, and he's got a little something to say. Oh, no. And laundry being thrown from the officials on the far side, and we'll wait and see, but this one does not look promising for Defiance. And Jordan Wright is getting an earful. And I believe we're going to have an unsportsmanlike. So a return of about 26 yards that would have made it 1st and 10 at their own 30 is going to be marched backwards, and Defiance is going to have a little extra work to do. 15 yards, and all of a sudden puts them within the shadow of their own goalposts at 1st and 10, but from their own 15.
Those are the things that unglue you as a coach. This is not the time. You just blew an opportunity. What an excellent return by Jordan Wright, and now you're on the 15-yard line. However, we know Defiance can move the ball.
Yep.
Let's just get our heads down and get it done.
Refocus. Still plenty of time here in the first half. 4:14 left to go. Handoff's going to go to Wright, trying to turn the right side. Now cuts it back against the grain. There's absolutely nowhere to go. A sea of red and white there to corral him. No gain on the play.
Definitely feels like they need to get Jordan more involved in the game. He has got some serious wheels, and they do not throw the ball a lot.
No. Clock continues to run, 2nd and 10 from the 15. Cougars still have their full complement of timeouts, so if they get a stop or at least a short gain here, I'll be curious to see if Coach Recker decides to burn one to try and play for a little field position. 2nd and 10. Handoff. Gibbs hurdles a man in the air. They're flying to the ball, and he doesn't care. He's going to carry a few with him. He's out across the 20 to the 21, 22. Looks like they'll say 23. That's a healthy gain of 8 yards. Make it 3rd and 2.
The exception of the fumble, Kelton has had an excellent game.
He has.
He's ran with a lot of passion, a lot of power. He's done a good job.
Both sides of the ball. 3rd and 2. Ward flanked by both running backs. Boy, 11 men in the box, and did we have movement on the Defiance offensive line? Yes, false start. Well, they were showing blitz, and I think part of that was just to try and heat things up. And it wasn't so much Ward, it was an offensive lineman that got just a little antsy. Well, 3rd and 2 is right up your alley. Your playbook is as wide open as it can get. 3rd and 7, clock still runs. Do you keep it on the ground here, or do you run the risk of a safe pass?
I think this is an opportunity to open it up.
3rd and 7, Ward 2 steps, has some time, fires in the flat. There was way too much on that ball. Way too hot for a pass that was underneath that really would have been at the line of scrimmage. And that was just too hot to handle for TJ Burris. So the clock stops, and Defiance will have to punt the football away.
With a high-powered offense like the Cougars have, 2:28 is plenty of time to score another touchdown, and Defiance could go in 2 scores down.
Well, they're going to punt. This is Hagler doing the honors, and this is Cowan standing back. That is, well, now he's going to back it up a little bit, and he's going to be joined by Welch. They'll both stand at their own 45. Low snap. Hagler high, but shanked a little bit. There's a little bit. Oh, and he muffs the ball. It's loose, but it looks like he's back on top of it. There was a little bit of a collision between one of the gunners and Welch. I wasn't sure if we'd see a flag there, but he cleared in time to give Welch an opportunity to field it, and Defiance almost got a break. As it stands, boy, 2:19 looks like a lot of time when you're setting up shop at your opponent's 43. And here's where Defiance's defense is going to have to really dig their heels in.
Their defense has done a good job, except for that one big play. So they just need to keep focused, get their penetration, make the play, and get out of this half without more trouble.
Full complement of timeouts as the Cougars set up shop, 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 43. Crummy on the zone read will head straight up the gut. Hinojosa wraps him up and says, "Care to dance," as he spins him down at the 40-yard line. Make it 41, a pickup of 2. Well, Van Wert content to let the clock run here. Under 2 minutes on 2nd down and 8. Crummy rolling out, throws off his back foot. He's got a man wide open along the far sideline. He knew where the sticks were. Run out of bounds at the 30, trying to get a number on the young man who was down. It is, well, I cannot tell. We've got medical personnel and an official over him.
Definitely looked like somebody missed an assignment there.
Yep.
He was just wide open over on the sidelines.
Well, and talk about that too, because Crummy was rolling out. That is a long throw laterally. Forget getting downfield. He's got to throw that ball, what, about 25, 30 yards just across the field to get it to his receiver. This kid has an arm, despite just being a sophomore.
And a right-handed quarterback, so he has to throw that across his body as he's rolling out to the left.
Still trying to get a number on the Van Wert receiver. Slowly leaning up, and I believe it's Cowan. Nope, it's Geary. number 18. So that will be Gary Hillary after picking up the first down, but right now everybody hoping that the young man is okay.
Good to see him up and walking. Coach gives him a tap on the helmet as he heads back to the bench.
Rub some dirt on it, right? All right, 1st and 10 from the Defiance 30. Just over 90 seconds left to go in the half. Let's not forget, folks, that Griffin McCracken, Van Wert's kicker, does have a 22-yard field goal to his credit so far this season. Now, granted, they'll have to pick up plenty more to get into his range, but probably about another 15. And they still have a full complement of timeouts. Firing into the flat, and again, complete coverage underneath, and they're just taking what they're giving them, and that's a catch by Cowan. Run out of bounds at about the 25. Did he get out of bounds? The clock is running. The clock is running. He did not. So I'll pick up a 5. Far side, and again, everything underneath. I get it. They're trying not to give up the home run ball, but the linebackers are giving a ton of pad underneath, and right now Van Wert is more than happy to nickel and dime their way down the field.
They still have their timeouts, and
Yeah.
there was nobody within 12 yards of him right there.
It's going to be 1st and 10. Crummy drops back, fires near corner, and is it hauled in by Welch? It is at the 1-yard line. An 11-yard completion, and Welch has having himself some kind of a second quarter as it's 1st and goal from the Defiance 1, well inside the Stanbon Jewelers red zone. Boy, if the Cougars get in here, I think you're going to hear a pin drop at Fred Brown Stadium.
Yeah, this is exactly what Defiance does not want.
Crummy's going to keep it. He's hit. I think his knee was down. He stretched out with all 6'6" of that frame. He thought he broke the plane of the goal, but he did not. His knee was down, so they're going to say no gain on the play. 2nd and goal. They're going to run him again, and this time he's in standing up. What a second quarter. I can't even say second quarter. What a 5-minute and 37-second stretch of the second quarter for Van Wert as they have scored 3 times to erase a 7-point deficit, and they're a point after away from taking a 2-touchdown lead.
This is exactly what Defiance does not want to do. They're not a high-powered offense. They don't score a lot of points, and now they have to get 3 scores.
McCracken puts it through the uprights, and with 53 ticks left to go in the first half, what an incredible change of fortune here at Fred Brown Stadium. We'll take a quick timeout, see what the Bulldogs can do in the final 1 minute of the first half. You're watching DCTV Sports. 53 seconds left to go in the first half after the West Banco touchdown by Van Wert. Quarterback Zach Crummy tried once, and then they gave it right back to him again. Second time was a charm as he basically skips across the goal line from 1 yard out. And after being down 7-0 and really on their heels, all of a sudden, within about 5 minutes and 37 seconds, Van Wert has exploded for 2 touchdowns offensively and 1 defensively. And they're up 21-7. End over end kick. I believe we may have offside. Yep, Van Wert a little too anxious. One of their gunners beat the kicker to the tee. And so this will back them up. Well, I'm sitting here thinking 3 plays in particular. One, the collision with the receiver and the back judge in the end zone on 4th down that led to the interception instead of a potential touchdown. obviously the fumble and then the recovery for a touchdown, but just as much the penalty on the last kickoff return. Andy, again, instead of 1st and 10 at their own 30, 15 yards, just again, young men letting their emotions get the better of them. It ends up being 3 and out, and you start at your opponent's 43. That's a lot to ask, especially with a high-octane offense like Van Wert on the field.
Defiance was not out of the game either.
They're not.
They were fully in the game at that point, that they could have marched down the field and made a play.
High but very short kick. Wright's coming up and fielding it at the 23, getting behind his blockers. Slithering just outside the far hash marks out to the 40-yard line. They'll keep their heads, and with 48 seconds left, one big play here. Who knows? We'll wait and see, but right now you got to figure a little fire is going to be preached in the locker room by Coach Wert. How fortunes have changed literally in the blink of an eye.
Yep, and you get the ball the second half.
Correct.
So I'm thinking that you might take a couple of shots right here, maybe a deep ball, see if you can get something done.
Comiso is coming out. Do they have 2 tights in right now? Twins to the far side. They're going to hand off and stay with what works for them. I believe that's Gibbs, just in between the hash marks, out to the 45. Pickup of 5. He's had himself a very good first half. Unofficially, I've got him for 78 yards on 13 carries. The one he wishes he had back was the one he lost. It led to the touchdown as the pitch, trying to turn the near corner. Here comes Wright, 45. Ooh, he took a late shot. Was he out of bounds? He appears to be okay, and there's some good sportsmanship. Like to see that between both teams as Briggs Wallace comes up and helps Wright up. All right, things just got interesting here with 17 seconds left, and now the ball.
There's another flag on the play here. Holding by defense, or by Defiance.
Back him up. Well, 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Again, this is exactly the keys of the game that we talked about at the very beginning. Defiance cannot get behind the chains. They cannot have these negative plays. Now there's 17 seconds left, and you have to go 60 yards to score a touchdown.
1st and 10, back it up to the 41. It's been just the third Service Master restore by McCann penalty of the night against Defiance, but it negates about a 15 to 16 yard gain. And here goes Gibbs. Off the left side, powers his way forward. Man, he runs north-south. Out to midfield. It will be enough for a first down. They needed 9, he got 10. He's pushing 100 yards in the first half alone. If I would have told you that before kickoff, you would not have guessed Defiance to be down by 14, would you?
No, and if you would have said who's going to run for 100 yards in the first half, we might have guessed more Van Wert than Defiance.
Not interested in running another play as Defiance will try to lick their wounds and catch their breath as both teams head to their respective locker rooms. Our score at the half: Cougars 21, Bulldogs 7. We'll take a quick timeout, and we will be back with your Midwest Federal Community Credit Union halftime show right after this. Bulldogs down by 14. You're watching DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
I love it. Number 22 is not going to the locker room.
It is a story about a lone adventurer who experiences tragedy and triumph to realize the warrior within. Our show features trumpet and flute soloist Carter Bledsoe and Noel Byron. hope you've enjoyed our presentation of the Warriors Odyssey. We'd like to wish Defiance Band luck for their performance. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. Have a great night, and go Cougars!
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Band of Class welcomes you to tonight's halftime performance, which includes a special appearance by our 8th grade varsity band students. We open this evening with Beyonce and her iconic pop hit, Crazy in Love. For the Band of Class, because they have the opportunity to welcome our 8th grade varsity band for their very first performance here at Fred J. Brown Stadium. Please give them a warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and undercover operatives of all ages, tonight we bring you a tune straight from the shattering world of mystery, danger, and stylish trench coats. Their identities may be classified and their mission highly confidential, but don't worry, you won't need a top secret clearance to enjoy the Band of Class and the 8th grade varsity band performing Johnny Rivers' legendary hit, Secret Agent Man. Defiance halftime performance. We invite you to get loud, get moving, and join in the fun. This one's a stadium classic, so don't be shy. Stand up, clap along, and let's hear you shout that famous word. Here's the crowd-pumping favorite, Rock and Roll Part 2, the Hey Song.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Back at Fred Brown Stadium, we welcome you to the halftime show brought to you by Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, helping you achieve your dreams and securing your future. Visit them in Defiance, Bryan, or Napoleon, or online at midwestcommunity.com. Time to take a look at what we believe are roughly accurate stats. Our stat tracker brought to you by Arthur Law Firm. If a serious injury from a car crash puts you on the injured list, call for the personal injury attorneys at the Arthur Law Firm. Serving Northwest Ohio for more than 50 years. Get the compensation you deserve. Back in the game with your winning team at Arthur Law Firm. All right, we think we're fairly accurate here. How about in the ballpark? Let's put it that way. I'm going to throw some stats at you here. And Andy, if I would have told you any of this before kickoff and yet told you that Van Wert would be leading 21-7 at the intermission, tell me if you would have believed it or not. The Defiance defense, with the exception of one play, has held the Cougars to under 100 yards. They have 156 yards passing, 70 coming off the touchdown pass when it was, what I believe, 2nd and 7 from their own 30. Keaton Welch made the catch around the 50 and then just put a beautiful move about 30 yards downfield. Yards after the catch, over half of that came as he secured the football, and it was the first touchdown of the game. It tied things up at 7-all. 156 yards passing. Then Welch on the next series, the offensive series for Defiance, Kelton Gibbs just got hit, couldn't hang on to the football, and Welch was there, Johnny, on the spot to recover the fumble and return it 32 yards. Just like that, Van Wert is up 14-7. And then after a 3-and-out deep in their own territory, they had, I think it was a little over 2 minutes left to go, a full complement of timeouts, and they got the ball on the Defiance 43. Well, a high-octane offense like that is going to make you pay. They have scored 21 points within the space of about 5 minutes and 37 seconds after Defiance dominated the entire first quarter. Their first offensive series, we had them for 8 plays, a drive that started at their own 35, 7-0, and then in the blink of an eye, we've seen just how this game has changed.
Yeah, there's been a handful of plays that have really turned the game around, and also some really ill-timed penalties.
Yes.
Defiance had the opportunity to get themselves back into the game. They had an excellent return, an unsportsmanlike conduct, which is just unacceptable. I'd have hated to be that guy in the locker room with Coach Wert during the half, because you know he got it all.
With that said, a total of 170 yards for Van Wert. I, again, had to do a double check. They haven't run that much. They've got 14 rushing yards by my tally. This is a team that averages just over 200 per game. The stats don't always tell the story, but a short field to work with, a big offensive play, and a big defensive play, and that's where we stand at 21-7.
Yeah, I think if you're Defiance, the only thing you're really disappointed in is the score. You have done what you wanted to do for most of the game so far, and now, though, this is a challenge. Defiance is not a high-scoring team. They have 0 yards passing in the first half, and they have to make some big plays to get themselves back in this game. Now, as we talked during the half, if they can open this drive with a score, that'll be that could potentially be the game changer. This drive is the most important drive of the game.
When you take a look at what they've done, and no surprise, and I've got Kelton Gibbs unofficially for 88 yards on 14 carries. They have 138 yards rushing. They've only attempted 2 passes. 1 was incomplete, 1 was an interception. I don't want to harp on this because, ladies and gentlemen, the men in stripes are human like everybody else. But on 4th and 15 from the 25, Colt Ward was going to the end zone. The receiver collided with the back judge that left the safety free, and he picked it off. They ended up scoring on that series. Another key play, instead of being up 14-0, tied up 7-7, and of course we just broke down what led to 21-7. All of that is now in the rearview mirror. As you said, the most important, I don't even want to say drive, the most important play is the next snap of the football for Defiance right now in the second half. Is that fair?
That's fair. And Defiance had momentum, and it shifted so fast. And now the Cougars have it. Defiance needs to come out, and they need to take it back.
Kicking it off, and oops, the kickoff is muffed a little bit. I'm trying to get a number. Is that right? Out past the 15 to the 20. And what could have been maybe a few more yards ends up being just make sure you secure the football. Getting up off the bottom of that pile, and instead it was number 21, Will Horvath. So 1st and 10, and in effect it's no worse than a touchback from their own 20. But here's where I would expect, you tell me if you've got a different opinion, to see a steady diet of Kelton Gibbs and Chase Camaso.
Yeah, I think you stick with the game plan, at least in this drive. Make sure you get down the field, burn a little bit of the clock, get your confidence back, get your momentum back, and hopefully score a touchdown.
1st and 10, first play of the second half. Gibbs on a counter. He's got some room, just lowers the shoulder. And right there I thought maybe if he tried to bust it to the outside, he had a little green. But what I'm looking right there, it appears to be a bit more edge in Kelton Gibbs. I think he was looking to run through somebody rather than around him on that play.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the first 2 plays of the half so far for Defiance, they do not look like the same team that started the ball game.
2nd down and 7. A little bit of a low snap. This is going to be Camaso, and he's got some room into the secondary. High steps out of a tackle across the 45 and out to near midfield. A 27-yard gain. That's a big play. That is a 1st down, and now all of a sudden at midfield, your playbook, if you choose to, maybe opens up a little bit.
Yeah, and these guys, they really needed that play right there. They needed some momentum after they muff the kickoff and aren't able to get a big return there. And then the next play, Kelton Gibbs gets tackled with only 2 or 3 yards. Big play, good momentum. Let's get the ball rolling.
1st and 10 from midfield. Oh, we've got movement. You could hear a collective groan over our crowd mic. Nearly 2,000 people below us here in the press box all saw the same thing, and that is a Service Master restored by McCann penalty. It will be the 4th of the evening, the 2nd false start for Defiance.
And they got to stay ahead of the chains. This is not the football that Defiance wants to play. They cannot have these negative plays. They do not have a strong passing game, and they don't want to open that up unless they can do some play action.
Well, not just that, but these are yards you have to re-earn, and it just takes a little extra out of you. So make it 1st and 15. We got a counter. Gibbs finds some room, runs through a man, basically somersaults to about the 45. So we picked up the 5 they lost and about an extra 5. This should make it reasonable right now. Where are you going to spot it, sir? It looks like it's going to be 3rd and what, about 6?
3rd and 6.
Check that 2nd and 6 since they got the replay back off the penalty on the first down. My apologies.
And what an excellent way to follow your blockers. Kelton put his hand on the hips of his guard and just was able to follow him right up the hole.
With that carry, it brings Gibbs over 100 yards tonight. And he's going to continue to be a workhorse. In between the tackles, falls forward. Didn't get quite what I think they wanted. This is going to be 3rd and 4. Well, not that Defiance wants us to read this sponsor after they commit a false start, but when a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster restore the work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding, contact ServiceMaster by McCann. Defiance trying to clean up after that last penalty on 3rd and 4. Both running backs flanking Ward. Fakes the handoff, straight drop. He's got a man open on a skinny post. He's open and underthrown. It's intercepted by Welch. Oh, he had Will Horvath open on a skinny post. The ball was underthrown, and Welch comes up with the interception inside the 15-yard line. Andy, it was there.
It felt like an opportunity to take a shot downfield. They took the risk. It just didn't work out for them. We can't underemphasize, though, the fact that they would have had a first down if it weren't for the 5-yard penalty.
So I guess you could take a look at it as a good punt, in effect, backing Van Wert up to their own 13. 9:10 left to go in the 3rd quarter. In a very dark and cloudy night, not much in the way of stars or moonlight. Here's Crummy on the zone read, and I don't want to say tiptoes, but for lack of a better word, that looked like exactly what he did out to about the 20-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of a healthy 6.
Yeah, he was dancing a little bit in the hole, and it felt like he had a hole that he could have taken charge of. This is a very important stop for Defiance. They can't go behind. They just don't have the high-powered offense to be behind by more. So get the stop here.
2nd and 4 from the 19. The handoff goes to Kelly. They try the sweep. He's wrapped up and brought down in the backfield for a loss. Trying to get the number on the young man. Is that Walter? Yes, it is. Number 9.
That's his 2nd tackle for loss. He's having a heck of a game.
He is. When you consider that Defiance is really only running 3 down linemen, he's been in the backfield. He and Hinojosa as well have really mucked some things up tonight. Make it 3rd and 8. Kelly has not had an opportunity to really find his footing. As Crummy fires across the middle, and again, finding that soft underbelly. The linebackers are playing off a little deep, and credit Van Wert's receivers, Andy. They know where the chains are. They are running perfect routes to get first downs.
Yeah, and Defiance is getting pressure, and Crummy is just taking it, and he is able to complete those passes. He looks smooth, he looks confident, he looks comfortable back there, and they're making plays.
Unofficially, I've got him for 166 yards through the air. Granted, almost half of that came on one completion to Welch, but it's 1st and 10 from the 27. Kelly gets a little bit of daylight. Boy, he squirts. It's almost like he comes out of a slingshot. He's got a 2nd gear, and he's quick to it.
He's very quick.
If you don't hit him early, you're going to be looking at his backside. He picks up 5 there. How about that? What if I told you into the 2nd half that's his longest play from scrimmage as far as a carry is concerned? Look out, because he's going to break this one. Across midfield, no. He's off to the races, and nobody's going to catch him. The 20, the 10, the 5, and he will Cadillac it into the end zone. Cougars up 27-7 on a 50-plus yard touchdown run by Kelly. It was just a matter of time.
Clearly somebody missed their assignment there. He had a hole that was wide open, and then he just turned on the jets. There was nobody catching him from behind.
McCracken on to attempt the point after. A West Banco touchdown. High snap. The hold is down. Well, McCracken boots this one through the uprights. And at the 7:07 mark in the third, Van Wert has taken the bull by the horns after a, what do we call that, a 57-yard touchdown run by Xavier Kelly. 28-7, Cougars with the lead. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with more at Fred Brown Stadium. You're watching DCTV Sports. Back at Fred Brown Stadium, a hush has fallen over the west side stands here as Defiance fans seeing Xavier Kelly break the longest. Look, prior to that last carry, I had just mentioned it. Maybe it is truly ironic. His longest carry was 5 yards. We'll make that one 68, and it's now a 21-point lead. As Defiance has their work cut out for them, a short kickoff. Ball returned out to the 35. From Balbinot and Andy Tracy saying thanks for joining us tonight on DCTV. All right, Andy, there's no such thing as a 21-point touchdown. You just got to grind it out. You got 7 minutes left to go. Is it fair to say, though, and I hate to say this halfway through just the third quarter, is this a must-score drive for Defiance?
It feels like a must-score drive, and it feels like they really have to open the playbook here. They've got to get moving because they just don't have the time to do what Defiance wants to do, which is grind the ball out.
Well, again, the interception had the Cougars pinned back at their own 13, but just high-powered, quick strike offense as this ball's a lateral. It bounces. Nope, they're going to finally blow the whistle and say incomplete pass. Tell you what, though, if you're Jordan Wright, you go until you hear that whistle because I think he turned and it almost looked like he had hesitated thinking the same thing that we did. Is that an incomplete pass or is it a lateral? You don't wait. You go ahead and force the officials to blow the whistle and call you back.
Clearly upset about the pass there. Jordan needs to get more involved in the game. They got to get this passing game rolling.
Incompletion. They're looking for their first yards of any kind through the air here. Instead, they're going to run it. And a healthy gain on 2nd down and 10 off the left side.
Boy, offensively, Defiance has really ran the ball well.
Very.
The offensive line has created some holes. The running backs have carried some defenders. I mean, it's been just a really good game on the ground. The air game has to improve. They can't compete with teams like Van Wert if they can't get the ball through the air moving down the field.
3rd down and 2. It's going to be a counter. Gibbs straight up the gut. I mean, he's getting his yards. He's winning his own personal battle here, but I'll guarantee you he would trade in any individual accomplishments for a team win tonight. It is good enough to move the chains. 1st and 10 from midfield. Unofficially, I've got him for 115 yards on 19 carries. That's a great average. Problem is the clock continues to run. They're going to pitch and not much doing. Jay trying to turn the corner and he's wrapped up. Actually thrown forward as he was brought down by Cohen Bragg, the strong safety.
Boy, that looked like early on that there was going to be something there, and then it just ended up closing fast. And then he made something out of nothing. So good play by Jordan. Again, positive yards, trying to do something different to get themselves back in this ballgame.
And off goes to Gibbs. Powers through 1, powers through 2, 3. They finally hit him low and take his legs out from underneath him, but not before he crosses the 35. Down to the 33, and we're going to give that about 17. First and 10. Approaching the 5-minute mark here in the third quarter. Counter, this is going to be Paxton, and he crosses the 30 down to the 28-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 5. Problem is, while the chains will move, so does the clock. Down by 21. We're now under 5 minutes left to go in the third on what I think everybody here in the stadium would agree is a must-score drive for the Bulldogs. Gibbs again, taking on anybody and everybody. Who wants to bring him down? It takes a trio of red and white as he's inside the 20 down to the 15. Boy, they list him at 5'11", 190 pounds. He runs a lot bigger and a lot more physical than that, doesn't he?
I mean, he almost carried the whole team right there.
We're picking up another 17. Ball rests at the 15. Coming up on 4 minutes left to go. Paxton, it looks like Camaso in the backfield. Camaso straight up the gut, hit once, hit twice, still powers his way into the end zone. A 15-yard run. How many yards after the catch? And at the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter, Defiance with new life.
Yeah, that felt like a must score right there, and they did it. I wouldn't say they're necessarily back in the game, but at least they've got a little bit of momentum. Their guys are still playing with passion, proud of them out there. They're behind by 3 scores, and they're trying to still win this ball game.
Burrison to attempt the point after. Ward will be the holder. High snap, he gets it down. The kick is up, and it is good. A West Banco touchdown after a 15-yard run by Chase Camaso. And Defiance fans finally with a reason to stand up. They've got new life, down by 14, 28-14, 4 minutes left to go third quarter. We'll take a quick timeout. You're watching DCTV Sports.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann.
Well, it didn't come on the first drive of the second half. It came on the second. The problem right now is for Defiance, they can't afford to trade scores. They trail Van Wert 28-14 as the Cougars scored on a big 68-yard touchdown run by Xavier Kelly. Otherwise, they had him bottled up. I mean, by far and away. It still is. I'm going to say if he didn't pick up another yard right now, this has got to be one of, if not his lowest performance of the season. But you also see what he can do when the blocking's right and he gets to that second level and kicks in the second gear. He's a big playmaker.
Yeah, and we knew this going in that the Van Wert Cougars, they are a big play offense. And that's why it was so important for Defiance to guard your yard, to make sure that they weren't making those mistakes, because one mistake, 68-yard touchdown.
High kick, and oops, this one is bobbled by Welch. This is a live ball. He picks it up at the 1, and he's in a world of trouble, and he's going to be brought down inside the 10 at about the 6-yard line.
This is exactly what Defiance needs. Play the field position game, get off the field, get their offense off the field, get your offense back on the field. And you know what we didn't see that last drive? We didn't see any penalties.
True.
Defiance
Very
needs
true.
to keep the ball moving the right direction.
So the Cougars, with their backs within the shadow of their own goalposts here at the 3:52 mark in the third quarter, still leading comfortably by 2 touchdowns, but they could use a couple of first downs to try and give themselves a little bit more breathing room. And if you're Defiance, do you pin your ears back here and heat things up? Coming, and Kelly at the second level, and look out. Across the 25, the 30, busts it to the far side, and he may be off to the races again. Can Gibbs catch him? It's one man left. He stiff arms him, cuts it back against the grain, put it on the highlight reel. What a run from Xavier Kelly. 94 yards on a play originally designed to go up the middle. He kicks it to the outside, then shows a little power with the stiff arm in the open field. That was a Division I college level run.
This is exactly why their coach said feed the beast, because he'd been bottled up the entire game. But you keep giving him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and he breaks 2 massive plays for scores that puts them up by 3. 3 scores.
Folks, there's a reason we have video. Whoa, they've got him up play. This is a fire call. It's going to be a pitch. And is that a legal forward pass? Question was the kicker beyond the line of scrimmage? It doesn't appear so. And this two-point conversion is going to stand. Wow. Well, they did not look like this to open up the ball game, folks. The first quarter was all Defiance. Really, the first, I would say 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes was all Defiance. But Van Wert has awoken.
And I think we see what makes Kelly so special.
Yep.
I mean, when he hit that open field, I mean, he turned on the Jets and he juked right, he juked left. I mean, he was all over the place. And Defiance has some excellent DBs and some really good tacklers, and they were not able to even hardly get their hands on him.
Folks, going into the second half, I had Xavier Kelly for 7 carries for 11 yards. His last 2 carries, 68, 94 respectively, both for a touchdown. All of a sudden, 9 carries for 173 yards. He is a big play maker. 3:35 left to go in the third quarter. Defiance, just when they had some wind in their sails, will have to get back and try and regroup as this kickoff a little short. And trying to see, was that Gibbs that came up and returned it out to the 25? Nope, check that. It was 34, not 32. That was Evan Fogel. Well, folks, if you get an opportunity to see a Van Wert game, whether they're on the road or at home, we can tell you from firsthand experience, number 11 alone is worth the price of admission.
Yeah, and again, these are sophomores.
Yeah.
They have 3 years of high school left, both their quarterback and their running back.
Don't tell the rest of the WBL. They're going to give gray hairs to a lot of coaching staff's heads. We got a whistle. Another Service Master restore by McCann penalty. And it's a false start from Defiance. I mean, to sit here and say, to look back, when did this game change? Because it's tough to say. Even with the 70-yard touchdown reception by Welch, okay, it's a 7-7 game at that point in time. Then on the next offensive series, Welch recovers the fumble and goes 32 yards. As this one a counter, in between the hash marks, Camaso works his way out past the 25. Okay, great. Maybe you took a couple body blows, but it's only 14-7, and you're still very much in the ball game. Then all of a sudden, you have a penalty on a kickoff. You back up to your own 15. You're 3 and out. And you give up a late score just before the half, all right? You regroup, you catch your breath. But I'm sitting here thinking, over the course of, midway through the second quarter, and now almost complete through the third, it's not like this has been a slow bleed. It's not where you look up at the scoreboard and go, wow, how did this happen? I mean, it was lightning in a hot skillet, and most specifically, number 11, Xavier Kelly.
Yeah, and it wasn't like Van Wert has been dominating at the line of scrimmage or anywhere in the game. It's been 2 massive plays by an excellent running back who's really gotten the job done. And I agree with you. When did it shift? It felt like it was just like every opportunity Defiance could get back in the game, and then it just turned over. Another opportunity, and then it turned over. Again, Cougars up 36-14. 2 massive plays by running back Kelly.
I'm going to say 4 plays in this game right now have spelled the difference. 3 offensive, 2 runs, 1 pass, and then the defensive play for the touchdown. But they all count the same on the scoreboard. Doesn't matter if it's an 11-play drive that chews up 8 minutes or it's a 1-pass play that takes up 30 seconds. And we've seen the Cougars can score and score in bunches in the blink of an eye.
And Defiance has done a good job. They've dominated. They've had certain areas of the game that they've done very well. They are too one-dimensional on offense. And that hurts them in situations like this.
Well, and again, a situation here where you're behind the chains on 2nd and 9, and they run, but Camaso hit behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to be lucky if he gets back to it. This is going to be 3rd and a long 9, really more like 3rd and 10. You've got to pass now. And again, you don't need it all. This is where I would tell maybe Defiance's wide receivers, look at where the chains are and run 11 yards.
In the first half, Matthew Walter did an excellent job of that, but it was called back.
Called back
by
on
a
holding.
penalty.
Yep. That's been the only pass completion of the night, and it was called back on a penalty. And they're going to run a draw. And Gibbs, all right, young man, what can you get? A little bit more room for your punter as he bulldozes his way out to about the 43.
Looks like they're going to go for it, and it feels like they have to.
I agree. So here's the question. Again, you don't need, 67 yards?
Nope.
You just need 5. A big play here is a first down. Ball rests on the near hash. Boy, they're bringing everything but the kitchen sink. And Gibbs, they miss him. Contact, first contact, second contact. He powers his way past the first down marker. That was all individual effort on a blitz that Kelton Gibbs, I've never seen one man beat 11 until that snap. I've done this for 30-plus years. That one play was all number 32.
Sheer determination. I mean, he was hit behind the line of scrimmage. He was hit behind the line of gain. I mean, it was just like, how is he going to make this work? And he just chugged along and got it done.
That was a man-sized run. On play action, rolling out, firing underneath. Camaso's got some room. Makes the first man miss, makes the second man miss. Slithers his way inside the 35. Down to the 34-yard line. A play of 16 on the first pass completion of the night.
And it was only a 3-yard pass, which feels like what they really need to do is get some confidence in their receivers, some confidence in their quarterback. Just get the ball moving down the field. They don't have to take these super deep shots.
They got to hustle if they want to get one more extra play here to end the third quarter. They do. Gibbs is hitting the backfield, and right now Van Wert is selling out. They're sending everybody because they know what's coming. And that will be the final play of the third quarter. No gain for Kelton Gibbs on unofficially his 24th carry of the night. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with the final 12 minutes at Fred Brown Stadium. You're watching DCTV Sports.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
WestBanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused WestBanco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union.
Final 12 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock here at Fred Brown Stadium. Brent Balbinot, Andy Tracy saying thank you for joining us tonight on DCTV Sports. Just past the midway mark of the 2025 Ohio High School football season. Right now, 2 teams coming into this one at 2-2 overall, but 1-2 each respectively in conference play. And Van Wert has just used the big play to their advantage tonight, leading 36-14. Ward on play action, flushed out of the pocket. He can run if he wants to. Instead, he's going to fire, and he throws behind his man. It just seemed like that play took a little too long to develop. Underneath, he had, I believe that was Horvath open. And I'm not so sure he couldn't decide until the last minute if he wanted to run or get rid of it. And as it ended up, he just didn't look comfortable, wasn't able to square his shoulders in that throw.
Well, and it looked like there were 3 receivers that were running what might be routes there. It didn't feel like anybody was on a precise route and knew exactly where they were going. And it looked like Ward just didn't have anybody to throw to until the last minute.
So 3rd down and 12 after the incompletion. Gibbs up the gut, continues to grind forward, shy of the 30 at the 31. It will be a nice pickup of 6, but the problem is now it's going to bring up 4th down. And you need about the same amount. Unofficially, I have Kelton Gibbs now with 25 carries for 165 yards. They need 6, or this ball is going back to the Cougars. High snap, Ward looking. Pocket stays clean, steps up. What's he doing? He's going to tuck it away and run. 30, 25, dives forward, and I think that second effort might be enough. This is going to be critical, folks, as to where the spot is, and the side judge says move the chains. Boy, that was close.
That was very close. It looked like Van Wert had him in the backfield, that he was going to be sacked. Early on, Kelton was open in the flat. Looked like he was going to toss it, then he pulled it back down. Looked like he was going to get sacked, and then he made a play out of nothing.
So the chains move, but so does the clock. Now under 11 minutes left to go in the ball game. 1st and 10 from just outside the Stambaugh Jewelers red zone. Every possession is a must-score possession right now for the Bulldogs. Counter. Gibbs nothing doing, but he kicks it to the outside. He's got some green if he can kick in another gear. Stays on his feet. Makes a couple man miss as he dives inside the 5-yard line.
Another 20-yard play by Kelton Gibbs. I tell you tonight, it's hard to believe. I don't want to take any credit away from the offensive and defensive line, who have done great jobs. But Kelton has really put this team on his shoulders tonight.
Yep.
He has carried the ball excellent on offense, and he's made a ton of plays on defense as well. Give the kid credit because he has got to be exhausted.
20 yards on the carry. 1st and goal from the 5 inside the Stambaugh Jewelers red zone. And this one, well, I tell you what, Gibbs got him down there. Camiso puts the cherry on the sundae, but that was a must-score drive for the Bulldogs, and they get 6. That is a West Banco touchdown. Building a better bank every day since 1870, westbanco.com. Burris on to attempt the extra point. This to pull them back to within a 2-score game. Oh, low snap, great hold by Ward, and it is up and it is through. Boy, that ball short-hopped Colt Ward, and the sophomore quarterback / holder was more like a shortstop there as he fielded that and got it up, laces out for Burris to put it through the uprights. All right, things have just gotten a little more interesting. 10:38 left to go in the contest. Cougars 36, Bulldogs 21. Back after this on DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
You get a good look at the Pep squad. You just score after basically every offensive possession here in the 4th quarter is a must-score drive. But Defiance got what they needed. Now can their special teams, and more specifically their defense, who's done a great job up until the last 2 offensive series when Xavier Kelly said, okay, remember me, one of the best backs not just in the conference but in the state, has stepped up. We'll see what they can do. Are we going to have a potential onside kick here? It looks like we may. All right. Now we're going to have a timeout as Van Wert wants to talk it over. So let's take a quick timeout as well and see if Defiance has something up their sleeve when we come back. Magicians welcome. Back after this on DCTV Sports.
Sherwood State Bank, your community bank with locations in Sherwood, Defiance, Fayette, and Archbold. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank since 1945. Online at sherwood.bank.
Ten minutes and 38 seconds left to go in this ball game. We welcome you back to Fred Brown Stadium, DCTV Sports, week number 5 of the Ohio High School football season. Brent Balbinot alongside Andy Tracy. I want to also give the rest of our crew a big shout out here this evening. Upstairs, handling all the technical things, and also within arm's reach of the pizza. So don't tell me that they're roughing it upstairs. But Jeff Tackett and Josh Bush doing a good job directing and producing. Our camera operators tonight are Brock Young, Sean Vandemark, and Jalen Red. As Defiance, do we have an offsides here? Delay of game? Coming out of a timeout? The kick was recovered by Van Wert, so ironically, the penalty might actually help Defiance unless Van Wert wants to decline it. I'm not sure this is declinable, though, because if it's delay of game, the play technically didn't get off.
Yep, dead ball.
And are they going to wave it off? Oh, oh man.
Well, the play still didn't count, so Defiance gets another opportunity
Very
at the
true.
onside kick.
Again, you have to declare by Ohio High School Athletic Association rules here. You can't sneak a onside kick on. But here we go. That's kicked way too hard. You've got to top the ball and hope for that second bounce. And I'm watching Burris understanding it. Look, it's tough, folks. It is very, very difficult. It's like I'm trying to think of what a good equivalent would be. If you ever go to a baseball game and they're taking infield and you see the guys hit infield and they hit pop-ups to the catcher, it's a very tough skill. And unlike being at the driving range where you get 1 or 2 tries before you can perfect it, you don't get that luxury here.
Yeah, and that's why it feels like it might have been a little early to try an onside kick, because again, it's just such a hard play to do. And the kicker, I mean, what a challenge, especially for a guy who, you know, hasn't been kicking for a very long time.
We can give you a score update of some other area programs. Right now, Paulding leading Ayersville 28-26 with just over 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter as Kelly is hit in the backfield. And do we have a flag? We do. They had him feathered out, and personal foul against Defiance. They just shot themselves in the foot after making a spectacular defensive play. This is going to be 15 free yards.
A tackle for loss, -3 yards with this high-powered offense. They knew where Kelly was, which is what you have to do right now. You have to know exactly where he is on the field. They were able to make the play, and then a late hit. Again, penalties just kill you in this game.
1st and 10 from the Defiance 35. And a must stop. We got another flag, and I believe we might have offsides by the Bulldogs. Let's wait and see. Trying to time that hard count up. Well, now wait a minute.
I think that was a sideline penalty.
It was a warning, I believe. Okay. So no official penalty, just a sideline warning. He remains 1st and 10. Kelly trying to turn the near corner, didn't have a lot of room. He did get out of bounds, so that stops the clock at the 10:04 mark.
Holding on Van Wert. That gives at least Defiance another opportunity.
That is a rare, matter of fact, is that the first penalty on the Cougars here in the second half?
I think it is.
I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a service master restore by McCann penalty. Holding, so the 15 they got on the personal foul, back up 10. No, we don't want it. No, please, you take it. No, we want to give you these free yards. No, we insist to give them back. So 1st and 20 now from the 45.
But you have to think both coaches are going to be very, very hot about this right now.
Yes.
You just can't afford penalties in a game in this
It's
situation.
one thing if it's in the 1st or 2nd week of the season, but we're now in week 5. So clean football. Crummy dropping back. He's got all kinds of time. Now he's in trouble. Spins out of it. He's trying to throw. Is that a fumble or is that a forward pass? It's an incomplete pass. The judge in the backfield spreading his arms out flat, saying it was an incomplete pass. I know you never want to take a sack, but game or situational awareness here, Andy. And again, this is where the sophomore in Crummy and the tremendous athlete that he is, always thinking you got to make a play. Sometimes better to just eat the football than do what he almost did there.
Yeah, that could have really turned this game back around.
Now what's going on? Do we have a penalty? Was there a marker down that we didn't see?
Was it intentional grounding?
Oh, I think they might have been calling it because he came out of the gun, right?
Yeah.
So intentional grounding, that is going to be a penalty when you're playing out of the gun. So Defiance gets an even bigger break here. You could call that kind of 6 of one, half a dozen for the other, because it's now 2nd and 20 after another 10-yard penalty. But for Van Wert, you still keep possession of the football.
Mm-hmm. And the clock is still running. It looks like the officials are discussing maybe what happened there.
Well, and you know what? I can appreciate this, because if an athlete has a question, not that you want this to turn into a debate, but the best officials will explain to the young man, this was what you did, this was why it was a penalty. And it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out conversation. Because let's be honest, we were always coached, you aren't going to win one of those. So you can ask, and whether you like the answer or not, you just smartly salute. Draw play. Kelly in the open field, and that is guarding your yard. Tremendous open field tackle.
Another play by Kelton Gibbs. He has been all over the field. Way to know where Kelly is, too, at that point. Looked like he might have had an opportunity, but it closed fast. This might be the time, also, that you got to tell your young quarterback. Agree with you. You cannot make the mistake.
No.
This is the hour. If you take the sack, take the sack. We'll punt it away. Just don't give the ball over to the
Or if you just check down and get 5 or 6 yards. Kelly, they hand off, they're playing it safe, and oof, boy, there's a lot of extracurricular activity going on right now. It is intense with 9 minutes left to go in the game, but Defiance's defense, here's the question, out near midfield, and Van Wert's going to play percentage football here and punt the ball away. Cam Wertz, by my stat sheet here, is punting for just the 2nd time tonight.
I think Jordan's a little deep for this punter. Didn't you say he was averaging 23
About 23 yards per punt. He does have a little bit of a wind at his back, and another flag. Now on 4th and 28, let's take a look and see who this is against. Was Defiance encroaching? No, false start against Van Wert. So another Service Master Restore by McCann penalty. This one 5 yards to back it up and make it 4th and 33. When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, Service Master Restore can get the work done for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhauls and rebuilding. Contact Service Master by McCann.
Boy, this game all of a sudden turned ugly, didn't it?
A little bit.
It was going very well. It seemed like both teams were playing very disciplined football, and now yellow flag every play.
Well, for Van Wert, up 36-21, they don't care because every second ticking off the clock is a benefit for them. High snap, and it's muffed. They're coming after him. They've got him back at the 25-yard line. Walter hopping up. That snap was a little high. Wertz had it go through his fingertips. And short of a return for a touchdown, Defiance couldn't have asked for a better play. 1st and 10 from the Cougar 25-yard line. All right, now you've just been handed a gift. If you're Defiance, you have to take advantage of it.
I'm curious what happened on that snap. That ball looked like it was not floating back normal. There was something that maybe it hit one of the guys or maybe it hit his leg when he snapped it back. It was not flowing good, and it was a duck, and the guy tried to catch it, wasn't able to, and again, Matthew Walter back there to make the play.
The whistle sounds, and what do we got going on here? I don't see a flag down. The men in stripes are going to get together and have a conversation. Well, if you're Defiance, this is just killing your momentum. I'm not sure what the issue is, but they're going to wind the clock and get it going. All right, whistle sounds. 1st and 10 from the 25. Ward sends a man in motion. They're going to run. Gibbs, he's been the workhorse all night. Backpedals his way inside the 20. Actually, it looks like they're going to put him down at the 20. That'll be a gain of 6. Unofficially, I have that as the 27th carry, 191 yards for Kelton Gibbs. Give him another. Dodges a man, or is this Camaso? Staying corrected. It's going to be a 1st down. Nope, it is Gibbs. Spot him at the 14. 7:40 and counting. Hand off to Camaso. Squirts through a hole. He's got plenty of room. I'm not sure anybody touched him. 14 yards, as clean a run as you're going to see. We got a brand new ball game.
We sure do. And this is the most points Defiance has scored this year If they put this up, it'll be 28, which will be, of course, one more touchdown than they've had in their best game where they only scored 21.
14 yards on as clean a run as you're going to see. Third touchdown of the night for Chase Camiso. And on 11 carries, I have him now officially at 100 yards even. Burris, high snap. It's a fire call. Picked up by Ward. He's going to be dropped. So that keeps it. Boy, that's tough because a point after there makes it a one-possession game. Now for Defiance, you still need 2.
Just the little mistakes. The little mistakes will eat you right there. You've got to be able to get that extra point. You got to keep it a one-score game. Only 7 minutes and 35 seconds left, and now you have to score 2. It feels like you could have kicked it deep, but now it seems like you might have to go for that onside again just because you need the possession.
Boy, that is huge.
Colt Ward did an awesome job fielding a bad snap on the last extra point. There was a high snap there, looked like it was wobbly, was not able to keep his hands on it. He's done a great job there. Seems like the snaps tonight are not going well, both sides of the ball. There's a lot of just kind of uniqueness in the way the ball's traveling back.
I'm wondering, because it's been an unseasonably warm evening, I'm wondering, is there a little bit of dew on that turf maybe? Is that ball just a little bit slicker than it might otherwise normally be? Well, they're bunching up, and here's Burris.
Looks like he's kicking it deep this time.
It does look like it. He is, and this one is going to get out of the end zone. I'm going 2 states over. There was a high school program called Iowa City Regina that used to do an unorthodox onside kick where everybody would bunch up. They had the opposition would have their good hands team up. The kicker was instructed to boot it about 20 yards downfield, and kind of like, I'm sure, your pitching wedge, it would just die. The ball's live at that point. Forget about trying to recover it within 5 or 10 yards. It was a dead sprint to 20 yards to try and track down the ball. I know that's tough. You got to practice stuff like that, but it's one of those situations where there's more than one way to do an onside kick. It's immaterial at this point as Van Wert's got the ball, and in particular, Crummy backpedaling his way out close to the 30-yard line. He's just shy of that first down marker.
This might be the time, too, that you just allow Crummy. That was a designed run. He's a big guy. Tell him to protect the ball, put his head down, get some yards, wear this defense out that's already tired.
2nd and 1. Hand off. Looks like they're trying to fold him in on a little bit of a trap. He didn't need much. He got just enough, 2 yards. 1st and 10 from the 31. Well, if you're Defiance, you have your full complement of timeouts. You're now under 7 minutes left to go. I know you like to save at least one for late in the game, potentially for your offense, but at what point, especially if you get a good stop here, do you think about burning a timeout? Crummy, quarterback draw. Hit, and not much there. Pickup of about a couple.
At this point, it feels like they're already just trying to burn the clock.
They are.
They know that it's 2 scores. They know that the pressure's on Defiance to stop them. They don't have to make any big plays. They don't want to make a mistake here. No penalties. Get off the field. Burn the clock. Make Defiance have to score.
2nd and 9. Kelly, straight up the gut. Power running as he's out across the 35 to the 36. It's a pickup of 4. It's going to be 3rd and 5. He's pushing the 200-yard mark himself tonight. Unofficially, I've got him for 192. Of course, it helps when you've got a 68 to 94-yard run to boost that average. Couple of big deposits made by number 11 in the 3rd quarter.
And he is an excellent runner.
Yep. 3rd and 5. Must stop here for Defiance. Crummy getting pressure from behind. They played soft. We've got a flag in the defensive backfield. It looks like Welch has enough for the first down, but we'll wait and see what the call is.
Pass interference on offense.
Offensive pass interference. How about that? They'll back them up. They will get to retry, but it will be 3rd and 15 instead of 3rd and 5. But here's where if you're Defiance, and I'm going to say in particular the linebacking core here, Andy, they've been playing soft, trying not to get beat deep. And credit to Van Wert's receivers. They know where the chains are, and they're running routes that they need to. You've got to make sure that you don't give up too much in the underbelly. Do we have a flag being thrown on the far side? Yes. I didn't see what happened. I saw it come from the line judge on the far side. Okay, so it wasn't a penalty, it was just a warning. Just a sideline warning. Well, I take it back. They're marching this off. Did they get one earlier tonight? Okay. All right, they'd already received one. Well, this really makes it different, doesn't it? Instead of a first down and probably the chance to run out the clock, it's now 3rd and 31 from their own 10. I'll be curious if Defiance tries to heat up Zach Crummy here. And they're going to play it safe. Turning the far corner and a little bit of something, just enough room to punt by Xavier Kelly. Boy, how big does that botched extra point really look now?
Yeah, that hurts.
Instead of driving for the potential game-tying score, you still need 2. Oh, my goodness. Well, you can't score 2 until you score 1. So we'll wait and see. But right now, Jordan Wright, how far are you going to back up here, young man? I would be standing at least about midfield. Remember what happened to the last time that Wertz tried to punt? The snap was high, and he basically got lambasted at the 25-yard line. Wright now steps up to his own 45. Clock continues to run, and did they not get the playoff in time? I think nope, timeout. They were burning the timeout before they took the delay of game, because as I looked over, the play clock was at 0. So Coach Recker and company, I tell you what, at that point, burn a timeout. You're getting more value out of bleeding the clock than you are losing your second timeout.
Yeah, it kind of felt like the timeout was unnecessary right now. The yardage wasn't going to hurt them by much.
Of course, if you're Wert, you probably would rather not stand in your own end zone to punt. So, and let's just go through the mental part of the game. He's aware of what happened on the last punt attempt. Not to say that it's running through your mind. You've got to have a short one, right? But we've seen this. You talked about it. The long snappers for both teams tonight haven't exactly been on target. And that's new. I'm thinking that there's got to be some dew on that turf. I'm thinking it's got to be a little slippery tonight.
Sure seems like it, because it doesn't matter on what it is, whether it's an extra point or whether it's a punt. The snap does not look clean.
Well, look at that wall for Van Wert. Defiance is bringing almost everybody up. They're going to try and heat up Wertz. They're coming after him, and he gets it away. And it's going to bounce. Wright will get away, and it takes a Cougar hop inside the 45, down to about the 43-yard line, with 4 minutes exactly left to go in the ball game.
The hard part for Defiance here is now it feels like you have to pass.
Yes.
You have to throw the ball. They have not been effective at that all year. So, I mean, here's your opportunity. We'll see. They probably practice their 2-minute offense regularly. It feels like you have to run it. Even though there's 4 minutes left in the game, you have 2 scores. You got to do 2-minute offense, 2-minute offense.
I would say this, though. If you run for 5 or pass for 5, it's still 5. So you know where you're going as an offensive player, especially a wide out sideline. Know where the chains are, but get out of bounds.
Gotta
And
stop the clock.
if they want to give you 4 or 5 per snap, whether it's going to be Kelton Gibbs or a pass, if you're Defiance right now, I don't think you'll be too picky. Although, as we say that, Ward is going to come under center. 2-step drop, and this is a quick slant. Wright's got it, and forward progress will be stopped at the 49. So that'll be a pickup of 6. The clock continues to run. This is where I would have thought everything about that was great, except maybe running out.
Yeah,
and
instead
get
of a slant.
Exactly. And
Feels like you shouldn't be running into the field.
well, Gibbs is going to get the call. Look at that pile move. He's still moving inside the 40. A pickup of 11.
Way to get behind Alex Anahosa and Tyler Doden-Kiesling and just let them guys push the pile.
Do we have a whistle? And do we have movement? Waiting for the umpire to give us the call. Sir? He's standing statuesque. All right, they're going to mark it off. So the ball will be put at the 36-yard line. 1st and 5. Right now, it's not about, here we go. Straight drop. Ward is going to air it out. He's got a man on a post. That was that Howard?
No, that was Horvath.
Horvath, excuse me.
Boy, he made sure he didn't underthrow it that time, didn't he?
Very true. And again, showing off his arm. That pass bounced in the back of the end zone. That was about a good 45 yards in the air. There's one thing again. We've seen he's got the cannon. If he holds onto that ball, maybe an extra second to let that route develop. And instead, here comes Gibbs. Kicking it to the near side. Lowers the shoulder. Does he get out of bounds? Yes, he does. That was the play they needed right there.
Needed to stop the clock. Yeah, back on the last play, he's definitely got a strong arm. Horvath has gotten open both times on those deep routes, and he has just missed him. Got to work on his accuracy a little bit. He does command the field well. The team seems to listen to him. He's a sophomore. He's a young guy. Those passes are important, though.
That was Gibbs' 30th carry of the night. This is his 31st. Breaking it to the outside. Can he get out of bounds? He cannot. Are they going to have to burn a timeout? They will not. Clock continues to run. They're going to spot that ball at the 18.
Boy, they need to hurry up here.
They've got to get going. Under 3 minutes left to go. After a gain of a couple. Oh, they're going to run him up the gut. Well, he powers his way down to the 15. So that'll be a pickup of 7. It's going to be what, 3rd and a short 1?
They still have not taken a timeout or tried to stop the clock.
Wow. This is going to be a wide receiver screen, and the blocking isn't there. At this point, they've got to burn a timeout. 2:15 left to go, and on 3rd and 1, they tried to catch Van Wert by going to just a straight wide receiver jailbreak screen, and it did not work. It backfired. And I think a loss of what? A couple there. It's going to bring up 4th and about 2.
That screen has to be much quicker. It feels like that receiver has to come and get that ball and get upfield quickly. It just took too long for the ball to get out to him.
Well, they're going to say he got stopped at the line of scrimmage. Look, I don't think there's any question number 32 can get you the first down here. The problem is you've only got 2:15 left to go and you're down by 2 scores. Again, just a situation where it just doesn't play into Defiance's strengths right now. Unless, of course, maybe Kelton Gibbs has a 16-yard run in him, in which case that could make things very interesting. But right now, I don't want to say you get greedy and go for it all. You've got to get the first down before the touchdown, don't you?
It feels like you have to get the first down. And you can get the first down, and you have 2 timeouts left. However, I mean, you're just straight up running out of time.
Yep.
So once you get the first down, you take a timeout, and then you just got to go for the end zone.
Now, wait a minute. They say third down here.
It's fourth. Is it third down?
Well, the yard marker also says third. They're late to get Gibbs on the field. They've got to hustle. They've got 15 seconds to get this clock off. So both the board and the down marker now read third. So they're going to take a shot. Ward doing all kinds of improvisation. Get rid of it, young man. He's going to throw it away. The irony there is everything had overloaded to the left. I know he was looking for a receiver. If he would have tucked it and run, he easily picks up 10, maybe 15 yards there. Are they calling grounding?
Intentional grounding.
You're the color analyst, but to me that seems a bit.
I mean, it felt like he was out of the pocket. It definitely got past the line of scrimmage.
He was not in the grasp. He got happy feet, but boy, that is a tough call.
Boy, I don't think that was accurate, and I don't know how you make that call in this situation.
That is tough. So with the loss of down, it will be 4th and 13 from the 28.
Wow.
Straight drop, pockets clean. Stepping up, Gibbs is going to have to do it all on his own. Makes a man miss, hurdles another. Look at this, stays in bounds, and I think he got the first down. What an individual effort by Kelton Gibbs. On a ball that was more of a lateral, he caught it 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. What a play. We see you, 32. We see you.
It felt like that was the end of the ball game, and Kelton Gibbs said, not on my watch. We're going to keep playing.
14 yards on the completion. They still need to put it in, and another flag. Oh my goodness. False start, the call against Defiance. Back them up. It was 1st and 10 from the 12. It will now be 1st and 15 from the 17. Yes. 1st and 15 from the 17 inside the Stambon Jewelers red zone. They're going to hand it off to Kelton Gibbs, and that play snuffed out.
Boy, the clock is running. They have 2 timeouts left. There's 1:34. This is not a fast-moving offense. Boy, it feels like they have to stop the clock.
Under 90 seconds left to go. Ward, 2-step drop. He's going to sling it to the corner, overthrows Wrights. There was contact, and ooh, a little bit of trash talking maybe a bit there by Kane Shobe, the cornerback who had good coverage. Clock stops. 3rd and 13 from the 15. Technically, Defiance can pick up the first down without getting the touchdown. However, if you pick up 13, you might as well take 2 steps forward and just get in the end zone, right?
Well, and it feels like you have to, if you get the first down, you have to get in the end zone or you have to get out of bounds.
Yep. 2 plays left in the ball game at minimum. Ward slings it across the middle. It is complete inside the 10, but the clock is going to continue to tick, and now they've got to burn a timeout. Anton Hegler making the catch. It is a pickup of 7, but again, going over the middle. And Defiance having to burn a timeout. It is now 4th down. They need 8 with the ball resting at the 10.
Wait, it feels like there's maybe a small lack of understanding of the game situation here, where they've had the runs, they've had the passes in the middle. People have not gotten out of bounds when it seems like you have to. They're not playing the clock game super well. And then, I mean, not just Defiance, but also Van Wert. The penalties in the end of the third quarter and in the fourth quarter are unbelievable. And you have to think both coaches are going to be extremely disappointed, and that's something they're going to talk about all week long. Well, we have to be disciplined. I don't care how tired we are. I don't care how far ahead we are. I don't care how far behind we are. We have to play disciplined football.
Look, win or loss, every coach will tell you we're going to take something from the film. And both teams can say, look, this has been an incredibly evenly matched ball game, and yet woulda, coulda, shoulda. Both sides can say it. They're going to try the field goal here. So Burris is in. He has not connected on one yet. Snap is down. Kick is up. It is no good. Oh, plenty of leg, but it was a low-line drive, and it looked like he pushed it wide. And Van Wert can just take a couple knees and hop on the bus, saying they escaped Defiance with a 36-27 win.
This was a very important game for both teams. It feels like Defiance came out of the gate really ready to play. But Van Wert, as of late, especially the young man Kelly, has really made some plays, really made this game a heck of a game to watch. It's been a lot of fun out here.
1st and 10 from their own 10. Victory formation right now for the Cougars. Low snap, knee. Defiance can technically stop the clock one more time if they choose, but it doesn't appear that they're going to. And the Cougar fans, you can hear the cheers and the screams coming from the other side of Fred Brown Stadium, as they are well aware they're 50 seconds away from snapping a 2-game losing skid and getting back to even 2-2 in the WBL. They will be 3-2 overall. The Bulldogs will have to lick their wounds for another week, as they will fall to 2-3, 1-3 in conference play, as they will get set for Shawnee next Friday night.
And again, like you said, there's going to be no easy wins, no easy games in the WBL. So, you know, Defiance is not out of this yet, because Van Wert still has to come up and play some very, very good teams. And these teams, they have to win. They have to win ball games.
Final score as the last second ticks off the scoreboard clock. Handshakes and a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda on the west side of Fred Brown Stadium. And on the east side, they don't ask you how, they just ask you how many at the end of the year. And Van Wert snaps a 2-game losing skid with a tough-fought 36-27 win here this evening at Defiance. What we're going to do is take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will have our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Don't go anywhere. You are watching DCTV Sports.
Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
Banco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused West Banco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Well, there you get a look at Van Wert and the Cougars huddling up. Talk about earning one after falling behind 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, and to be honest, through the first 75% of the first half, being outplayed.
Yeah, Defiance was hitting them in the mouth.
Yep.
Every play.
It was smash mouth football. It was exactly the type of ball game that Defiance wanted. The game plan was being executed to perfection. And then on fourth down, a collision in the end zone between the back judge and a Defiance receiver led to an interception. Basically, you can say, okay, one thing, still stop them deep in their own territory. Defense, get the stop. But instead, 2 snaps later, Kelton Welch hauls in a 70-yard touchdown. And just like that, it's 7-7. Then on the next offensive series for Defiance, Kelton Gibbs, who had a man-sized ball game tonight. We will get to his stats in just a minute. Made one mistake tonight, and he fumbled. He coughed it up deep in their own territory, and it just so happened to be Kelton Welch. Pardon me. It's Keaton Welch, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Kenton Welch. Kenton, my apologies. That's why I double-checked. Kenton Welch scoops it up, a 32-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, and before you know it, it's 14-7. Still anybody's ball game. But deep into the second quarter, a penalty on a fine kickoff return, unsportsmanlike conduct, back Defiance up. Instead of 1st and 10 from their own 30, it's 1st and 10 from their own 15. 3 and out, a short punt, and then all of a sudden, a handful of plays later, and quarterback Zach Crummy goes in from the 1-yard line, and before you know it, in the space of about 5 minutes and 37 seconds, the Cougars have a 21-7 lead. We take you to the second half, receiving the first kickoff, or the opening kickoff of the second half. Defiance unable to do anything with it, and after holding one of the premier backs in the entire WBL, I would argue the entire state of Ohio, Xavier Kelly, going into the third quarter by my stats, and I'm again not saying by any stretch of the imagination they were official, but I had him for 4 yards on 6 carries. He ends the night on just 13 carries with 192 yards and 2 touchdowns, courtesy of a 68 and a 94-yard touchdown run, both in the third quarter. And from that point on, it wasn't just playing from behind, but it was playing from behind by multiple scores for Defiance, and they just didn't have enough offense.
Yeah, and that is not the way they want to play football. They don't have a passing offense. They have a run-based offense, and they were doing a good job. It can't come from behind at that many scores. And again, all credit to Van Wert and Xavier Kelly. I mean, that kid ran his heart out. He was a beast. That 90-yard run was, I mean, he hit that hole so fast, and he was just gone.
Well, and that was a play up the gut. It was in between the tackles, designed to just get you a few yards of breathing room at your own, 6, and maybe give you a chance to open up the playbook a little bit more. Instead, he busts it to the far sideline. He's got a second gear, and he doesn't just get there, but he gets there immediately. He's a Ferrari, folks. When you talk about 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds, no. He's 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye. But then we saw the incredible body control. About 50 yards downfield, Kelton Gibbs had a good angle on him. He reverses field, and in addition to that, gives him a stiff arm and powers his way out of the last would-be tackle to finish it off. Folks, that was a Division I college level run. Hard to believe this young man's just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore, and he's 6 foot tall too. To have that quickness at 6 foot tall with that kind of length, and then again that power. Kelton is arguably Defiance's best tackler.
Absolutely.
And he was able to stiff arm, put him to the ground, and get that score. I mean, what an excellent ball game by him. Two great runs. Some of the best I've seen in years, those 2 runs.
Well, we talked about what Welch did, 3 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown, but also the fumble recovery for a score. Kelly, 13 carries unofficially for 192 yards and 2 scores. On the flip side for the Bulldogs, it was the 1-2 punch, which we expected, and it was effective. Defiance had 345 rushing yards by my tally here. By the way, we also want to give our sponsor credit for this. This is the Arthur Law Firm Stat Tracker. So if a serious injury from a car crash puts you on the injured reserve list, call the personal injury attorneys at Arthur Law Firm. Serving Northwest Ohio for more than 50 years, get the compensation you deserve and back in the game with your winning team at Arthur Law Firm. Unofficially, 345 rushing yards for Defiance. Gibbs, again, I might be off a carry or two, but I had him for 33 carries, 245 yards. The kicker to it was once he got inside the red zone, Camaso was the one that they handed the ball off to, and he finished those drives. I had Camaso for 11 carries, 100 yards, and 3 touchdowns, but here's the difference. On 12 attempts, just 42 passing yards for Defiance. Look, you don't need to be 50-50, but, and Coach Ritz said this during the pregame tonight, he goes, we want to be able to throw not when we have to, but when we want to. You don't need a ton, but enough to keep the defense honest. They struggled in that area tonight.
They sure did. And Defiance scored more points than they scored all year. And there were several other things, other factors that came into play. It felt like they were in this game. They could have won this game.
They absolutely could have.
The passing wasn't the only struggle. However, it feels like if you're a one-dimensional team, and they were able to do what they wanted on Van Wert, but somebody else is going to come in, and you just, again, you have to be able to throw the ball. So that backs those guys up too, which opens your running game up a little bit if you can keep those safeties out of the box.
A situation here, too, where I know probably too many penalties for both coaches' tastes. But there were a couple of drive killers tonight, or it stymies you. We've talked about it. Sometimes it changes your playbook. Maybe it's not as open. But you always have to re-earn those yards. It makes it a lot more difficult. Once in a while, or if the opposition's doing something that has you off kilter, that's one thing. But if you line up in the neutral zone, or if you're just a little too anxious, you've got to be able to hold your mud. And I'm guessing both coaches will probably address that starting on practice on Monday.
Yeah, it feels like the teams really have to be more disciplined. Again, Defiance being that they want to run the ball, 3rd and 3 is so much different than 3rd and 13.
Yep.
They can't get the first down at 3rd and 13. And also we really need to mention the botched extra point. The snap there was so vital and so important because, again, it kind of changes what happens at the end of the ball game there where they're not going for the field goal. They can go for the end zone and they can tie the ball game. But that missed extra point, big deal.
We're going to take one more time out. Our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show continues. Keep your eyes healthy for a long life of clear vision. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center, your family's vision source. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. 36-27. The final score is Van Wert takes it here at Fred Brown Stadium. We'll take a quick timeout. Back with more on DCTV Sports.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. It's amazing how this place was packed and just electric. As little as 15 minutes ago. That's one of the things you and I have talked about. We can be in the middle of these giant venues and people are screaming themselves hoarse. You can barely hear yourself think. And then all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, and it's deathly quiet. It's like checking out a book at your local library. But unfortunately for Defiance tonight, it comes at a somber cost as they fall to Van Wert 36-27 for the Cougars. And Coach Recker, they needed this one. Both teams came into this one on a 2-game skid. They snap it, but they go into the Lions' Den. They got to go to Wapakoneta. Actually, I take that back. They host Wapakoneta next Friday night for Defiance. Look, you still have 4 more games left to go. A little over a month here. You've got Shawnee coming to town next Friday night. I know it's tough, but the old phrase is the windshield's bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason. It's because where you're going is more important than where you've been. If you are Coach Ritt and company, what's your message to your team tonight and also when you put those pads on Monday?
I mean, you just have to keep going. And fortunately for Defiance, they have a lot of senior leadership on the team. I know their quarterback is a sophomore, but they have Gibbs and they have Wright and they have these guys that can really pull it together, and that's what they need to do. They need to step up because this is their last season, and they need to come out fired up. And hopefully Rick can get them turned around and get more discipline again. End those penalties, maybe work on the pass game a little bit. But the season is not a bust.
No,
and that's
not
important for them to know. You can come out and you can still win ball games. You can still have potential to make some playoff games and really do some damage. So don't give up. Fight hard. Work your tails off and come out next week and hopefully get the dub.
Do not have a Tenora score for you, but we do have an Ayersville score to pass along to you. It is a final just 1 county over. And it was a dogfight. Paulding holds off Ayersville 35-32 for the win. So, again, a couple of white-knuckle rides here.
If I can interject, Fairview winner over Sonora tonight, 49-28.
49-28 as we are being told Fairview a winner over Tenora. So all 3 of the schools in our DC coverage area taking one on the chin here this evening, but rest assured, still plenty of season left to go. That's going to do it for our broadcast here as we put a finishing touch on the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Big thank you going out to our entire crew. And appreciate you throwing on the headset tonight. Pleasure working with you. Looking forward to doing it again.
It's always a joy to be out here. I love football, and I love watching Defiance play. They always come out with passion, ready to play. Unfortunately, they had their loss tonight, but they showed up.
Yes. For the rest of our crew, Director Jeff Tackett, Producer Josh Bush, and camera operators Brock Young, Sean Vandemark, and Jalen Red, I'm Brent Balbinot, thanking you, the fan, for tuning in. Final score again this evening, Cougars 36, Bulldogs 27. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.